Alright, looks like everything's stable. Got myself caffeinated. Looks like my Fireworks bot is actually still working, which is cool. Actually wasn't planning on streaming at all today, but I was actually planning on cutting this out of my schedule altogether, but I just kind of felt like turning it on, so I'm kind of an unproductive day. So maybe this will actually help me focus a little bit. Maybe not. But I have been finding, at least when I do fire up the stream, I turn off everything else, so at least I've got that bit of focus going for me. Turn on the scene switcher here. And jump right into my browser. And what was I doing last? What I was doing last, I was attempting to do, I think on Friday, is to make this garbage here look like this non-garbage here. So I think I might just jump right into that. And maybe in the next hour or so I can actually get a few things done. So one of the things I was looking at is implementing this user experience. And I realized a few things, like I've got, I know what I was doing last. What I was doing last, to try to get myself back up to speed with what I was doing, I forget what I worked on last and then end up having to like spend a long time researching what I was last thinking about. And I was doing this weird thing, which actually might have ended up being a stupid idea. Actually, what is going on with my source here? Well, as per seems to be the custom of my stream, the first thing I have to do is unbreak all my broken stuff. And it seems like my editor is not finding my changes. So maybe I just need to restart my editor. I know these files are on the file system. There we go, that's a little better. So I know what I was doing. I was trying, maybe inadvisedly so, to turn one of my components inside out. So I've got this image importer, and it's a common component shared between these two upload buttons. The problem is, I had the component built as this little like self-contained image uploader with a spot for validation messages and all this other stuff. But the two contexts in which I want to use the button have totally different layouts and uses for all the stuff. Hello there, Skipper J. How's it going? Let's see. I think I left things in not an entirely broken state last time. So what I'm trying to do here is turn my image importer inside out and turn it into a higher order component that wraps where I'm using it and passes in things like the validation messages and the button for triggering import. Shaking your fist at Kafka, not the writer. But that's a thing that I think is on my to read about list that I've never played with. Oh yeah. I want to see we actually use Kafka for analytics at Mozilla. Somewhere deep in the back end. Man, this is a long menu theme. Well, I mean, I guess it's called menu long, but well, the fun times are when the problem is your understanding and the software, and when you think you understand the software and it turns out that the documentation was all wrong. So it could be more fun than that. All right, I'm gonna keep. So I think when I left this on Friday, I left it actually not broken, but I think I was in a hurry, and I may have done some dumb things. I use AWS every day, so maybe I was subtweeting AWS there, yeah. Let's see, what am I doing with image importer here? So what I want to do image importer takes in some things like, I guess, what the current image is, or the current type and size is, because this comes in from outside. What is it doing right now? What I really need is a way to, like, suspend my brain state when I was last working on something, and then, like, restore it like a laptop from hibernation, but I know that doesn't work on my laptop all the time, so that might be a unhealthy feature to have myself. Okay, so what I'm doing is this button is supplied by the image importer. It does successfully pop up the file picker. I pick a file. It successfully imports it, so that's not broken so far. Now what does it do? So the other thing I wanted it to do is validation messages. So if I upload something that is not an image... Oh wait, it doesn't work twice. Oh no, there it goes. Maybe it's just slow and I'm impatient because my machine is garbage. Yeah, so if I try to upload, I don't know, like an MP3, it's going to give me... Okay, so the validation messages are still working. That's cool. See, my music has frozen. Pop on to the next song. Okay, so it looks like the image importer is probably, I left it in a working state, which is actually surprising to me because I thought I left it all broken. So that's cool. Let me pick a different image and see what happens. Or is it just not working now? Or am I still impatient? See, I actually meant to stream, well, I probably will stream on Wednesday from my PC downstairs, which I use for games, and it is much more powerful than this laptop. And it would actually be able to handle, everything I'm throwing at it a lot better. Which has been my curse on this stream so far, as I keep trying to use this underpowered computer. And everything goes so slow. Well, so I think these things are working. Okay, so maybe my image importer is actually working and I can move on to other tasks. And maybe I'll run into more issues with it as I go, but alright, let's just go ahead anyway. And one of the things I wanted to figure out, so actually if I uncomment it, this is a thing that I want to replace next. This is Firefox Color. This is a project for editing the theme in Firefox, and the feature I'm adding is the ability to import your own background images. And along with importing the images, you can also change options like the tiling, the positioning, and I mean it's a very slim area for adding these images, but people can do some interesting things with it. So I want to convert this drop down into clicks on these icons. And now of course I realize I don't have all the icons supplied that show up in the spec, but what I missed on Friday when I started this work is that the designer mentioned flipping them and rotating them. So I think they only supplied me with the raw icons that could be flipped. So what I want to do with them is see if I can't use some CSS transformations to just go ahead and use what I got. And then wire these up to take the place of the huge drop down I got. So I think that's going to be my next task. I can get rid of that background. So now I just got this one. I'm going to start doodling a little bit. One of the things that I see for sure that I don't need in the design ultimately, I do not need, I don't need to list the image size and type like I'm doing right now. So I'm just going to strip those out real quick. I could use the name though. That's one thing that I think I'm not including in the component, and I don't remember why, because I should have access to the name. Oh well. We'll leave that out for now. And yeah, it's a little bit of a mess because I got this like image importer higher order component that takes that takes these things. It like takes what the current image is, takes a function to add the image to the store, takes a function to update the image if it already exists, and then a callback on what to do when importing is done, and then it passes along to the wrapped component all these things, which is quite a lot. So I may end up revising this a bit to simplify all that. But I guess I don't need to do that right now. Ah, cool. So my my hot module replacement's working, so I made that little edit to the component and stuff changed already. What do I want to do next? I think I need to tack on some CSS a bit. This is a cool song. Let's add that to my favorites. So I don't know why these aren't showing up in a row. The style sheet could not be loaded. Why not? Let's reload the page. Now I think one of the bugs I was running into that I need to fix at some point is it seems like when I reload the page, my theme gets wiped out, which is kind of cruddy. And I think that's a recent bug. And it's on my list up there at the top of the screen. But I'll work on it next. Anyway, what I was looking at doing here is this should be a flex layout. And I don't know why they're on separate rows from each other. Because... oh, they're inside a div, and the div is not the... okay, I think I know what's going on here. Okay. So my CSS is structured I think, not to jibe with this little div in the middle there. So actually, what if I do this? See if this affects my layout. Because image importer itself isn't an element so much as a wrapping component. And I am terrible at CSS, so all of this is just kind of like rough wrestling until it starts to appear the right shape. I just want to lay all of this out in a row. There it goes. That's a lot closer to what I want. So just sort of stumbling towards this design. Now what am I missing? So the next thing I'm going to do is work on this section. So I'm going to take this and turn it into these. Now actually I think I'm going to play around with the CSS transformations to see what I can do to those. The opacity on these, I think there was an earlier view where the opacity was darker, was lighter because they were deselected. So what do we got here? We got left, center, right. So that means I'm going to add some class names to these. Left, center, right. Left. Center. Right. Now I don't need to change center, I don't think. So let's look at what my interface looks like. So left, center, see that one is vertical, so I need to rotate that. Let's do this so I can, I'm going to remove some of these icons because they're the only ones I've got. Call that V center, H left. I'm going to do a similar thing here. So I'm going to reuse these icons and then alter them with the CSS so that they're the correct orientation. And two of these icons are correct. The others need transformation. Alright, let me see if I broke anything. Actually, all these are changing. Well, these are awkwardly named. I may refactor them in a minute to be more generic. Okay. Let's see if that code will build. The wrong shell. Just kind of stumbling along here. Okay. Yeah, that seems about right. So this one I want to rotate, say, right by 90 degrees. Yeah, rotate that right by 90 degrees. And what I can do here is say, like, so you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to try this in Vim and see if this makes me unhappy. Oh no, there we go. So I'm going to copy those class names. Oops. That's the correct key. That's messy, but the nice thing that Vim has is you can copy in just kind of like an absolute block from the editor, regardless of lines. And it helps sometimes when things are aligned horizontally and you can just kind of snip it all out. Oops, that's not what I wanted. What I want to do is say, put a dot in front of all these. There we go. So now they're all class names. And I suppose I could simplify these class names, but I haven't, so never mind for now. Okay, and actually what I really want to do here is mess with the image. So hleft doesn't need it, hcenter does though. And what I want to do here is I'm going to Google my transforms. This is what I'm going to do. Using CSS transforms. So all I want to do is like just do some simple rotations, and I think you can do flips too. So first, transform. Yeah, okay. I can do rotates, I can do... Can you do a flip? I thought you could do a flip. I mean, I guess I could always apply a matrix to it, but that'll probably hurt my brain. Let's do a rotation on this first and see what it looks like. Actually, I'm going to do it in the browser, in the style editor. Which that was a thing I was really wrestling with last week. Let me do this. I'm hoping that shows up in the style editor. It might not, there's a lot to scroll through. Actually, I think I know what I need to do, so I'm just going to throw the transformation in there first. I think I'm going to do transform, rotate 90 degrees. That might be incorrect though, because I haven't set the transform origin in the middle. I think I might need to reload the page for that. I don't have hot reloading for CSS in here, which is annoying. Excuse me, this is starting to get to a point where this might be useful to have hooked up to like Storybook or something. Ah, so that didn't work. Why didn't you work? Where are you, little image? There you are. Well, so that's in there. Did I not include... Did I not save the file? No, I definitely did. So there's a align button hcenter, align button hcenter. Huh. Well, let's just try this real quick. I can doodle in here real quick. So I'm going to do transform, rotate 90 degrees. Which apparently did nothing. Why is that? Oh no, it did. I just didn't notice what it did. Okay. So that's cool. So this one should be rotate 90 degrees. Now why didn't it show up? Is it even in my rules right now? No, it's there. That's bizarre. Let me move this window. Dock to bottom. Align group, align button, align but oh, you know what I did? This is what I need to do. This is what I need to do. I'm forgetting the ampersand. Because I don't want it to be a child element, I want it to be the same element. Okay. So real quick, what do I need to do for the rest of these? Am I using that? Yeah, I'm using an external keyboard. I've actually got, let's see if the cable's long enough. Got this, Magic Force 10 keyless. I'm really bad with directions when holding things up to the camera, but I got this keyboard. Very nice little mechanical keyboard. It's not super clicky, but it is very thucky. Like the keys thuck when I hit when they bottom out. But I do have another key. I've got another keyboard that's got the like. Actually, you know what I have, and I should use again some. It was like right next to me. I've got an IBM Model M around here somewhere that I converted to USB. I should bust that thing out again someday. Now this is clicky. That thing is the king of click. So someday I may bring this thing on stream and just kind of click away all day. And then you'll never be able to hear me talk because it'll be just this all the time. I got a post on it. Where one Christmas I converted that thing to USB with a little teensy microcontroller inside. The only problem is, and I needed to debug the firmware on it, it doesn't support currently Control and W at the same time. Oh no, I wouldn't be streaming if I didn't meant to be distracted. And it gets me to think about what the heck I'm trying to do here. Which actually... yeah, that's what I'm doing. So now I can actually get the rest of these rotated. Yeah, it's weird by streaming. I can get distracted, but I'm also like more focused than I might be if I wasn't streaming, because if I'm streaming myself working, then at least I'm like, don't check Twitter. You should keep working. Or I guess now, these days it's Mastodon, since I kind of have been ignoring Twitter. Okay, so what do I need to do? I don't need to rotate this one. I rotated this one. This one needs to be rotated... oh, 180 degrees. So this is promising. I'm kind of hoping I can reuse all these images just by rotating them. But then I also need to rotate and flip. And also I gotta do math at some point because I need to figure out... let's see... minus 90? Maybe I got this right. Maybe I'll have lucked out and have just thought my way out of this. Actually, some of them I need to flip, I guess. Hello there, Chandu201, how are you? Oh, did I do it? Oh, I need to flip some of these, because they don't exactly match the design. Of course, I'm also tempted to just say F it and leave them as own. As is. What am I working on? I'm working on Firefox Color, which you can find the production version of it at color.firefox.com. And it is a site for theming your Firefox. I should leave this pinned. And so Firefox Color is a combination of website and Firefox add-on. And it's a Firefox test pilot experiment, which is what I do for my day job right now. Actually, it's my only job, because I just have fun at night, I guess. But out of the box right now, the current production version, it only has predefined images. And what I'm working on adding are your own images. And you should be able to import your own images, drag them around, change alignment. What other images can I throw in here? Did I throw my head in there yet? No, my head isn't there. Never mind. I don't need two of my heads in there. So yeah, you should be able to change their layering. You can change whether they repeat, import new images, and it's rather buggy right now because I'm still working on it. But the goal is for this to be, I don't know if we're going to integrate it into Firefox itself or how this is going to work out, but at some point there will be an official site you can go to and access this interface to customize your Firefox. What other images do I have? Oh yeah, this one will work. Actually, I think I might save this theme too, just so I have a more comprehensive thing to play with. Yeah, so my current task is to get these buttons to do what this drop-down does. I'm just gonna save that theme. Is that the theme? Yeah, that's the theme. Alright. Vanilla JavaScript? No, this is using, this is React and Redux. So it's using Redux for the data management and React for all the components. And then some fun little middleware code in the background to talk to a Firefox add-on that controls the actual theme. Oh, I'm actually losing track of my tabs because of these funky backgrounds. So yeah, we've got a couple Webpack processes. One Webpack process builds the add-on, the other Webpack process builds the site itself. Hey, Slayer Darth. I missed you making a complete fool of yourself. Oh, you have a new programming channel. I'm gonna have to sub to you. Well, I feel still like I'm making a complete fool of myself whenever I fire this thing up. So I think it's good company. I feel like this little guy is my magic 8-ball channeling my computer. Yeah, there we go. I'll give you a follow. We can all be fools together. Do I have a Discord? No. Thinking about it. It seems like everybody has a Discord these days. I do have a blog, though. There's my blog, and actually if you just go to my site, you can find other things I'm doing. Decaf bad is not a thing, but I've been thinking of bringing it back because it's a catchier name than my own name. They've gone through these phases where like Decaf bad used to be a cool nickname online, and I was like, you know what, I'm gonna go by my real name. But sometimes my real name is unwieldy and not cool. I might bring it back someday. Who knows, maybe I'll rename this channel to Decaf Bad. It's funny too because I've since met 4 other people who own various Decaf Bad domains or have used that name. I almost feel bad claiming that identity even further. In fact, one dude, Craig, lives like 20 minutes from me. So we actually met because he has decafbad.net and I have decafbad.com. It's a very long intro. How do you flip with a CSS transformation? Yeah, and thinking about my blog and my site, I should actually put those in my channel description if I haven't already. Can I flip? I can rotate. How do I flip? Scale -1? That seems weird. Maybe I can mirror? Oh yeah, that Super Meat Boy emote is pretty cool, by the way. Let's see. That's kind of a cool song, but I think I'm gonna skip to something else. Let's say, that's what I want. Yeah, Firefox Color is open source. If you look in... Am I pointing the right way? Yeah. If you look above my head to my to-do list, there's a GitHub URL. There it is. You should be able to find the source there. At least that's my fork of it. You go to... if you go to the Mozilla repo, that's the official repo for it. Ah, scale x -1. Alright, well, let's try it. This is actually not the version of this song I think I was looking for. There are other versions. How about this one? This is the version I'm looking for. Yeah, this is the epic version from Commodore 64. Alright, so what I have now... Oh yeah, and there's David Walsh, who is another one of my colleagues at Mozilla. I end up on his pages more often than not for front-end dev questions. Yeah, so I want that one flipped. So how about... Is it scale x -1? Yeah, scale x -1. I believe the other one needs to be flipped, right? No, that one's fine. That one's fine. But I do need to flip this one. Alright, so I'll have to look for your stream. I like your BRB image. Nice, I'll have to follow you on there too. Yeah, so right now Firefox Color is a combination of a website and a Firefox plugin or Firefox add-on. It'll be interesting to see what we do with it eventually, because we may end up rolling it into Firefox. What's interesting though is Firefox Color and its add-on are not what is doing the theming. So if you wanted to make a theme for Firefox today, you can make an add-on of your own, separate from Firefox Color. So we got this was in my history. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, so right now in Firefox there is a theme API. And this theme API is usable by all Firefox add-ons. And our experiment here is to just build a user interface on top of theming. But if you wanted to, you could play around making add-ons for Firefox right now that play around with themes. And there's a whole data schema for defining the various colors and things of themes. What's interesting is Color only supports like 7 or like 5, 6, 7, 8. It supports like 9 or 10 properties, but there are actually like 37 properties or something. And that's going to be one of our next goals, is to expand this interface so you can play with more aspects of themes. So it's kind of two separate efforts. There's the theme API effort, where they just keep adding more and more properties to theme Firefox, and that is not my team. So my team is a user of that team's work. So they're expanding the technical capabilities while we're trying to work on the giving it a good user interface. Eventually we may hand this experiment off to that team. But we're kind of like trying to suss out right now, what do folks actually want to play with to like make a good theme. Meanwhile, power users can create add-ons that do interesting things. Like, since it's an add-on, what's fun with the theme APIs, you can do a thing that, like, say, changes your theme based on the weather pulled from an external source. Firefox Color doesn't do that, but add-ons in the theme actually could let you do that. I think I might have these about right. I might actually drag this thing off to another screen so I can see it at the same time. It's cool to put it on the stream, but I might need to glance at it a little quicker than that. Oh, come on. Starting to stumble over this bug. There we go. Okay, so that looks right. That does not look right. I think I may have over-rotated on one of those. Yeah, so what I'm trying to do now is to just use CSS transforms to get all these icons to look correct. Do I know if the Firefox debugger is also some kind of add-on? You know, actually, I think it is. It's interesting, over the last few years, and a lot of this culminated in Firefox Quantum, we've been re-architecting how Firefox is put together. And there are some features that are actually internal add-ons. And we started doing that with some things so that we could ship them on a different schedule from the browser overall. I can't say off the top of my head if Firefox Debugger DevTools does that yet, but I think they are kind of like in a separate module from Firefox itself. I think it might ship in the same code repository as Firefox. And actually, now that I'm thinking about it, my colleague David Walsh, who I was just looking at for front-end advice, David Walsh now works on DevTools. So this is actually a good guy to look up if you have any questions about Firefox DevTools, I think. There's a whole good team working on that. Is there a way to reload my style sheet? I thought there was a way to reload my style sheet in DevTools. That's the thing I need to get working in here now that I'm like hacking more on CSS, is to get some hot replacement for style sheets. This thing has such a slow reload. Good thing I said Firefox DevTools. Oh, you mean like versus debugger? I mean, I don't know, it's a debugger too. Oh, I see. Yeah, the terminology between browsers is sometimes unnecessarily complex. What am I doing? Okay, so if I do... Can I show both on the screen at once? Yeah, there we go. I don't know. My scene switcher wants to go back and forth between things. So what I'm trying to do is to get this icon... Oops. Oh no, I need to... In order to match the design, I need to flip that horizontally, so... Maybe since I rotated it, I need to use a different flip. Actually, you know what I'm going to do? Let me jump in the style editor, because I'm looking at them right here. And the one I'm looking at, yes, is this one. No, it's not that one. This one. This one. So what I might want to do is scale x minus 1. Correct? That is actually correct. Okay, cool. So... gotten the buttons to match. Yay me, mini goal reached. Now I need to hook these up such that they function and replace the dropdown. And also I need to actually copy this out of here because this is temporary and what was it? That was top? Yeah. That needs to go over here. It needs to not go right there, it needs to go over here. Like I said before, I'm absolutely terrible at CSS. I'm just kind of iterating my way into this, / breaking everything. But now, I think I can push aside the CSS for now and work on functionality. Now, currently, I just have this one drop down, but this is a whole list of combined options. I need to split this state up. Now, the upstream API, the theme API, takes these literal values. So what I might do is add a little bit of component state, and when one of them changes, combine it into that value. Maybe this will make more sense as I start to do it. So, I don't know, I'm going to add the state? No, this state. So I'm going to add two new state properties. I'm going to call it... I'm going to use long names just because. Our default... What's our default? I think our default is left top. I'm going to say horizontal align left and vertical vertical align top. And we can say here, const horizontal align, vertical align. Let's destructure those from our state. And what I can say here, this is going to get more complicated. How about split these up? Let's reformat this a little bit. Let's not do that. You know what? I'm going to make my tooling do that for me. I'm trying to remember, on this project, do I already use a thing called class names? I do use class names. So class names is really handy in React because... Alright, let me import that real quick. I can say... I can typo all day, but then say class names from class names. Yeah, so class names is a neat utility because it lets you do things like so you can supply individual class names a little more like that as an argument list, but then you can do things like I'd like to add the selected class name, but only if horizontal align is left. So what class names will do is include this class name if that boolean is true, or leave it out if it's not. Why did I decide to use React as interface? This color add-on is full of client side. So we decided to use React because we thought it would help us organize and break up the user interface components better. It is fully client side in that there's basically the website is fully static. There's no server storing data for this thing. And when you save themes, the saved themes saved locally. So yeah, it's fully client side, but we've been using the React framework for quite a lot of things. And also pairing React with Redux has been super helpful because to manage the state of your theme, it's really handy to do it in the like action-based. I'm brain farting. Anyways, it's nice to have this like central store of the theme data structure and to modify it with these actions. And we have some Redux middleware that whenever a change happens to the theme, that message is relayed to the add-on. So we could keep the add-on and the site in sync with like Redux messages. So it has to be class name because this is one of the funky things in React. React tends to use DOM property names for things. So in HTML, it's class, but in React, it uses the DOM name, which is class name. It's a little it's really annoying. It's not a little annoying. It's really annoying because you get used to writing HTML with class, and then and it will sometimes work, but you get all kinds of warnings. There's a few other things that are like that too. Hey, Gamer Clean Vic01, thanks for the follow. I have enough favorites to shuffle now. Yeah, it's a pretty good one. Yeah, so there's a few other exceptions. Like I'm trying to remember what other properties there are. There's a handful of them that you have to use the DOM name instead of the actual like HTML property. Yeah, so what I'm doing here is I'm just trying to... I'm getting ahead of myself here, but I'm trying to set this up such that when I click one of these buttons, it's going to change the state. And there's a selected class over here that highlights the background. So when you click on one of them and change the state, they should highlight. I have trouble sometimes, like, figuring out where to start when adding a new feature, because I just want to start everywhere at once. And so I end up doing things like this that's assuming things I haven't done yet. I don't know that that's all that unique a problem, but I find it interesting. Alright, so I need to replicate this work down here. Let's do this. I'm also a weird Vim user. I use Vim, but I use the mouse quite a lot. Rather than keyboard for everything. Anyway, so class names is just a way to like assemble the list of classes, and you can do it with some logic. You know what, let's try this real quick, because my code is getting really nasty looking. Oh no! No parser and file could infer it. I don't know what that means. Okay. Can I do... I'm really lazy. I can format my own code, or I can do... Yeah. I use Prettier. I usually use it in my editor. Prettier. Yeah, that's what I want. Or I can just do... Yay, format my code, thank you. You have the live coding bug. It's been interesting. I need to keep up with it. Yeah, I've been streaming for a little over an hour. I think I probably got another half hour in me. I meant to not stream it all today. Actually, I was thinking of streaming later tonight for a side project. I meant to over the weekend, and just crap happened and I never did. Yeah, I don't know if this is actually any prettier, but all those long lines I had, this is what Prettier did to them. It's just maybe a little more readable, but it's a lot taller. Fold markers in Vim? Yeah, I used to use those a lot. My only problem is, and I used to use folding a whole lot more in, say, like Emacs or a few other editors. I keep forgetting the commands for it. I keep forgetting the keyboard commands for it, which is kind of the path to learning in Vim, is to remember all the key commands. That's how you kind of level up as a Vim wizard. Yeah, so folding, you can either do it like automatically with a plugin that like it detects code structure, or you can mark sets of lines. So you can actually treat your code like an outline and like collapse blocks. So you can kind of get them out of sight while you're not looking at them. Oh yeah, that's what I want to do here. Top. Center. Bottom. And of course, horizontal align is now vertical align in this section. Okay, that looks good. Hey, Jeff Triplet, thanks for the follow. I want to say I was just talking to you on Mastodon. Oh, what did I do? I broke things. Yeah, so you can do it with comments. In fact, that might be a better way to do it than syntax detection, but I know there's also a Vim plugin for JavaScript that will automatically detect the start and ends of functions and throw folds in automatically. But I think in a lot of ways, manual folding might be better, at least in terms of controlling what you want to fold up. So then you get just like sections of your code. I should refresh myself on that stuff because folding is super handy. This is a fun little Amiga mod. Let's skip to the next though. I don't need to hear Axel F again today. Alright, so the selecting works. Now I need to make these clickable. So next, let's add some stuff to make them clickable. And for that, I'm going to add some... I had a couple handlers here. I had a couple I had a couple functions. I'm trying to think what's the driest way to do this. The other thing I'm going to do too is, since these are buttons, I just forget the CSS for this. What is it? Cursor pointer? Yeah, okay. Sometimes I put pointer cursor and that's incorrect. Any other famous Mozillians I work with? I don't know. I'm surprised who's famous and who isn't because pretty much I've been at Mozilla for 10 years, so if you know any famous Mozillians, I probably know them too. I think the team I'm on right now is kind of low-key and doesn't have a whole lot of internet superstars, I don't think. I don't know though, I'm losing track of it. I'm brain farting today. So I guess one way I could say it is I work with all the famous Mozillians. Yeah, Ian Bicking. There you go. Oh, hey Jared. Thanks for dropping in. Yeah, I think Ian is pretty big in Python circles. I've known Ian for quite a number of years. Let's do this. Nah, I don't like this. So what I want to do is parameterize these buttons without creating a function on every render. But maybe there's no simple way around that. I'm just going to do it dirty for right now. Let's say... This is what I don't like. Saying onClick equals... Say this set state... And this is looking kind of repetitive. I feel like I could probably break this out into like a sub-component. I don't know. Set state. Horizontal line left. I may end up refactoring all this to dry it up though, but I'm just going to go like this for now. A lot of copy pasta here. So you use indent-based folding. I guess that's like the most agnostic to syntax. I gotta update these. Center. YouTube video. Yeah, I have to check her out. Yeah, I know quite a few people in the who are developer advocates at Mozilla, but I don't know everyone on that team. I think this might be enough to see things change. Why team need to look in your code? That's bad. Not sure what you mean by that. I mean, we have we do peer reviews on code, so like everything we write tends to get reviewed by at least one other person on the team. And what Jared says. Yeah, this is looking kind of grungy still. Oh, and by Jared I mean 6A68, because I know his, maybe I've doxed him and by saying his real name. But I work with 6A68. He's also on the test pilot team. Sorry, I may be revealing too much. Is that gonna work? My computer's super slow. Maybe I got an error. Possible I have an error. Clicky, 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 clicky does nothing. Okay. Yeah, I think you're 6A68 everywhere except for where you can't have a number as the first character in the name, right? So yeah, it's good for folks to get their job done, but what we tend to do at Mozilla is it's a team effort, so everyone works on their own code, but everybody tends to have at least one other person who reviews their work. Oh, from your first test stream, the nerves that you've had. Yeah, the first, and it's still not perfect. It's still not great now, but my very first code stream, I felt weird stage fright. And then I felt weird for having stage fright. Because I was just sitting alone in my office with my cats. But somehow I still felt stage fright. It's still not perfect now, but... I should also make these constants. So, when I click these... So, unless it's registering the click on the image... Page is loaded, yada yada. Oh. Yeah, I live with my wife, but I also try to stream when she's not home. So I think I understand. When she's home, I feel kind of weird. Like I'm talking to myself and maybe I need to close the doors. I mean, she knows what I'm doing, so it's not like I'm trying to be secretive or anything, but... Yeah, these buttons are for vertical and horizontal alignment for the image. Right now, they're just wired up, like there's just this big list, so I'm trying to replace this with the buttons. Which... It's kind of rough right now, but it works. And so I'm trying to break this thing apart into these separate buttons, which I thought that the set state would be working. Let's do this. I think onClick is the correct handler. Let's be... Overseas consultants I'm liaising with. That's very good corporate speak. I'll have to write that down. What did I break here? Something's broken. It's getting closer. At least my UX now doesn't look entirely unlike the spec. Yeah, 6868 is another one of my colleagues from the test pilot team. We were just talking earlier today and I mentioned the stream. It's not updating. Oh, you know what? You know what window I'm not looking at because I just assume everything's okay. I'm not looking back here at my build. Maybe something's broken. I don't know. Huh. Is it not on click? Or am I getting, or is the click getting stuck on the image? Like, I love the MDN docs. That's actually, I worked on the MDN team about 2 years ago? 3 years ago? Yeah, I was on MDN for about 3 years? 4 years? That's a really cool team. There are, I think they were up to a half dozen dedicated writers when I was on the team, and they were working hard at soliciting help and contributions from the community. We basically rewrote that whole site from scratch. We were using a product called MindTouch. That's kind of a super full-featured wiki. Oh, yeah! CumaScript. Yeah, I wrote a Node.js service that does server-side JavaScript within the documents. So they use that to do a lot of things like... they can put scripts in that run at the publishing time and not viewing time. So the scripts only run when you edit a page, and it goes through and it can do things like query against the site to build tables of contents and things like that. A little microservice. MindTouch, like touch your mind. MindTouch would be funnier though. Did I favorite it? I favorited a happy birthday song. Okay. Oh yeah, that's right. There's actually a doc page about CumaScript on the site. I think I might have written this page. Yeah, so CumaScript is neat. So MDN is kind of a wiki on super growth drugs, and so you can write, you can edit these pages. Anyone can edit these pages on MDN, and CumaScript is an embedded scripting language in the pages. So that kind of gives it a few extra superpowers. Man, I'm mystified why these clicks aren't working. Oh, you know what? I think actually, this is what I ran into before. I wonder if my drag and drop component is intercepting my clicks. That's annoying. Well, one way to find out, if I watch the CSS, or if I watch the DOM... No, I guess not. I'm going to be streaming your image classification project. Oh yeah, you were talking about that last time. Doing some image classification on uploads so folks don't have to... so the folks who aren't going to type descriptions anyway get some kind of description. Ah, there it is. I think my... Yeah, this is conflicting with my drag and drop component, I think. That's annoying. But my other buttons work, don't they? So if I remove an image... See, now that button works. Why is that? You know, I'm going to try something else. I'm going to try... So these are all spans. Why don't I do this? Do I specify span over here? I do not. Okay. I wonder if Maybe my drag and drop component will go hands off on buttons. Let's change those to buttons because they actually are buttons. So we found an unofficial OpenCV PHP wrapper. Oh, that's cool. I haven't played with OpenCV. It's kind of like deep. I should actually I have a list, a maybe-do list of things to build and research, and I should actually put that list online somewhere. And that's like deep down on my list, and I never get to it. Alright, well I just changed that. Let's see if this makes a difference. No? Hey. Oh, there we go. Yeah, okay. There we go. Yeah, I think what's happening here is, unless it's I should actually dig into the source of the drag and drop component. It looks like this component swallows up any click on things that aren't like buttons. And I'm kidding. Are you gonna come on camera? Or are you just gonna leave my desk? You're just gonna leave. Okay, cool. Well, don't knock anything off. Oh yeah. Isn't OpenCV like a pretty intense C or C++ project? Border radius, yeah. Border, none. I forget when you use the button, there's a bunch of things you have to throw at it CSS-wise to make it stop doing whatever it's doing. Okay, so these buttons are working. Well, working insofar as they're updating internal component state. I have to make them replace that. Yada yada yada, that's it. Da, 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 da. Can't trust Ubuntu because packages are out of date. I believe the industry calls that stable. The Ubuntu is stable and mature. Not out of date. But fair. Yeah, we don't need all this. What we need to do, I think I need to wrap all these set states in something else. So this is what I'm going to do. Set state will be because I need to do something else after I set the state. So and this doesn't exist yet, so I'm going to put it down here. I just realized this is a cover of Ice Ice Baby. Yeah, so what I need to do here is do this set state, and then I'm going to steal this code. Yeah, this is what okay. I'm trying to remember. Is set state async? Sounds like the intro to Pressure by Queen. And it is. React set state async. Set state is asynchronous. Yes. Okay. But there's a callback, isn't there? There is a callback. Okay. Here's what I'm gonna do. Set state Previous state, current prop. I'm just going to copy pasta this so I don't misspell it. Yeah, it's fun trying to remember which parts of React. I mean, I guess it basically is all async. I need to remember that. I guess if I really want to be particular about this. The other option, I'm gonna leave it kind of messy. You could technically update any state with this. Yeah, I mean these days there's if you used async await everywhere, that's kind of standard, but there's legacy to deal with. So you just got an amazing idea with your plugin. And what is that idea? Or do you want to keep it secret so we don't steal it? Mostly kidding. So our alignment is going to be... Yeah, so this is getting into the meat of things. Check for any default camera phone. Oh, that's interesting. Surprisingly engaging. Wonder if live preview peer reviews could be a thing. Stream too. Yeah, I mean, it might be like I've seen folks every now and then do pair coding, but I've traditionally been allergic to pair coding. Maybe I need to be less allergic to it. It might be fun to like stream some pair reviews though. Like at least at that point the code is already done and we're just kind of like reviewing it. If anyone wants to listen in, they can kind of see what the thinking was. Alright, so I think I've got this right. So what I'm hacking through here, each of these buttons updates part of the alignment state. I want to update the local component state, but also, as a side effect, assemble what the new alignment property is and dispatch that off to the Redux store. Yeah, I think my thing, and this is actually part of why I'm starting to stream, is because I haven't liked pair coding because it doesn't feel comfortable, and also I've got weird social anxiety issues anyways, so I kind of feel on the spot pair coding. But so far, for some reason, streaming, I've felt a little less on the spot. I think part of it might be because, like, I'm the one typing at the editor and you all can say whatever and I don't have to do anything about it. Maybe that's a cynical way to look at it. But I feel slightly less on the spot. I can code away and do whatever I want, where in pair coding we're kind of like sharing the responsibilities. I don't know, it's weird. I've got a weird issue with pair coding. And I know it's me. I know it's not the practice itself. But pair coding, I could get into that. I like pairs. Let's see if my alignment function actually works. So let's put that in the center. Oh, I think it might have worked. Oh, I just realized this is updating. Nice. This is actually kind of a nice side effect of using this like state-based stuff, because it goes through the Redux store and comes back through, and this component re-renders with the thing I sent, the data action I dispatched through the store. So these things are both manipulating the same data property, so I can actually see the dropdown updating. Now I bet actually the reverse is not true. Yeah, actually I need to fix that because this'll... Yeah, so since this is local state, okay. When I reload this from a theme, this is kind of write-only state, the way I have these buttons right now. So what I really want to do yeah, I think I can change this. So here's a trick. I think this might be an interesting little trick. Probably a terrible idea, but I'm sure that's going to break something. So rather than base it on internal state, why don't I base it on the actual prop alignment? And I can change my alignment state. Yeah, let's do this. What do I want to call this? This is kind of convoluted. This is probably a terrible way to do it, but I'm confusing myself now. So what I'm doing here is I realized I'm using component local state to manage those buttons, but what I realize is I really want to use the redux state to manage those. And what I can say is so this is in fact no longer asynchronous, not setting state. But at least I don't have to change all those buttons. I may be totally wrong about doing this. I think that will work. Why do I do this to guard things? This is probably going to break horribly. I'm sure there's something I haven't thought of. What's going on here? Duplicate of this. Okay. Typo. 262. Yeah, because I already split that out of there. Okay. Maybe I want... you know, actually... Since I'm setting this... Yeah, so what's awkward here is that the alignment property is a space-separated list, usually. I'm trying to split it into state for these two buttons. I haven't used redux much, but what's the rule of thumb for exposing state globally versus locally in the component? It's weird. I've read the advice of Dan Abramov, and he's kind of gone back and forth, and I think his current answer is whatever feels right. In this case, the state is actually coming in from the global theme data. So really, this should not be component local state. It should be sourced from the theme data. I think if it's something like, so a place where I do use local state, and I think it's correct, is in my image importer. So when I import an image, if the image is too big or the wrong type, I set local validation state to show the message. I think that's correct. But this thing with the alignments is actually coming from the global Redux data, so I should bring it in from there. If you ask some people, though, they're kind of sticklers for Redux and will tell you all state must go through Redux. I kind of feel like that's overboard, though. And so for like little kind of temporary things, like, you know, like a newsletter form, like we have on the test pilot site, when you fill in the email address, if the email address is incorrect, I don't think you should have to send the validation warning state all the way up through Redux and back. I feel like that's a good thing to keep local. Yeah, it's an event-driven scoping thing. That said, there's some folks who've written some interesting tools. Like there's one thing, the problem I ran into is if you make all state global and say you have, I don't know, 10 components, all with similar state, then you have to do a thing like give all those components IDs and associate those IDs with separate states. It gets complicated. But there are some like utilities out there to automatically spin up little sections of the Redux store per component. But I kind of feel like that's a code smell kind of thing. Like if you're doing that, something's not quite right. This, though, makes sense. If my code is not actually broken. Which... oh, well, it's loading, so that's cool. Come on, you can do it, little buddy. You can load. Alright, so if this worked... oh, it didn't work. It blew up horribly. What are my error messages? Alignment is undefined. Okay. Where is that coming in? That's coming in... these are bad errors. Okay. Well, maybe I'll just eyeball my code for a second. Alignment... I mean, this should be fine. You know what else I'm not running? I haven't been running to save CPU cycles. I haven't been running lint. And so it may not be catching some things for me. Oh, that's going. Yeah. I've been streaming for about an hour, 42 minutes. Probably got about 15 more minutes in me, and then I really gotta go. Which is funny because I only meant to stream for an hour today, and I'm almost have streamed as long as I would ordinarily have done. That made no sense. Well, linting is going alright so far. Oh, there we go. Okay. Icon drag, define but never used. Icon loading, define but never used. Well, I will use those eventually, but just to shut you up. Let's comment those for now. Unexpected console statement, missing semicolon. Yeah, it is like 5:30 here, and I do have to like split pretty quick to start some dinner. But I was kind of on a roll. So I figured so a lot of my streams, so I've got, if you look in the, on Twitch, there's like a videos link up towards the top. The last few videos have been me complaining about my computer. So this has been like, you've actually lucked into one of my most productive streams. I'm glad you're finding it engrossing though. I guess this is me pretending to be a competent programmer on Twitch. Render the buttons with a for loop. Yeah, I'm staring at it, and this is what I do a lot of times. I back into a good-looking loop, and then delete all this from my original commit. So yeah, I might at some point. I didn't realize I was going to end up on this pattern, so what I may end up doing is just kind of like throwing all these into like actually I do, yeah, there's some pretty common patterns here. So yeah, by the time I put this into a pull request, I probably will boil this down to a list because it's very repeating right now. Yeah, if you think too much about the abstractions, I guess that's premature optimization kind of, but you can just kind of sit there and spin forever trying to think of the perfect expression of it. But yeah, this is kind of the platonic ideal of my stream, since it seems like I managed to get productive pretty quick. And what was it, 2 weeks ago? I tried streaming on Friday, and it was a bit of a disaster, and then in midstream the power in my house went out. So that was kind of like the perfect down point, the perfect worst stream. Still broken. This alignment is undefined. I swear I've got element. I swear that I've got source maps turned on, so this shouldn't be as obscure. Oh, maybe this is what I'm looking for. 108. Okay, let's look at 108 real quick. Well, how's it not defined? Because I'm extracting it right here. Did I misspell it? This? Oh, this alignment. This alignment is not defined. But yeah, this, like, whenever you see repeating runs of code like this, it totally should be extracted into something drier. Alright, let's see if I unbroke it. I'm surprised the linting didn't pick that up, but I guess that's not the job of linting, that's the job of, like, flow type. Yeah, React is less about separation of concerns and more about presenting them in a different shape. Like, it took me a little while. It's about separating concerns in a different way, because I think when I first started getting into React, I really grumped a bit about why is this HTML in my JavaScript? And now these days, there's CSS in my JavaScript. What is this nonsense? Now, see, these cases are going to be a problem, but maybe I don't need them. Well, let's try this. Left top. Cool, okay, so I think I might have this correct. It lights up the correct buttons. Alright. So I think I successfully reworked this. So again, the whole goal here is to drive these buttons from the actual theme state. And as evidence of that, when I use the old drop-down that manipulates that state, the buttons update. Actually, I think this is a pretty good... This might be a pretty good place to wrap up soon. Before I break anything else. You know what I might do, though, because it's since it's been noticed, I may try refactoring that. So actually, let me delete this selector real quick, because that's what I'm replacing. Oh, and this is pretty good end of stream urgency music, I guess. So maybe this is my 5-minute warning. So let's see what it would take to extract one of these. I'm going to do it a little dirty. I'm going to go just up here and say button. What are our variables here? That is not what I wanted at all. I think I wiped out whatever was in my buffer. Try that again. There's some mild refactoring here. Let's call this so my variables are going to be, well, there's a difference here. One is horizontal align, one is vertical align. Okay, what if I do... Actually, that might be all I need. Factoring under time pressure, yeah. See, I don't even think I need that. Okay. So I'm just gonna pass this structure and all over the place. And maybe what I need to do actually, yeah, I do need to pass in the icon too, don't I? Actually, no, I don't. Well, maybe I don't, because I can tell whether it's horizontal or vertical. Because here's the thing, what I need to do. Actually, let's expand this into a bigger function, because I can't get away with that shorthand right now. So here's what I want to do. So this will either be vertical or horizontal. The icon will be... Yeah, I think this is what we can do. I can say that, or I can say icon V align center. And what I'm... Oh no, you know what, actually this is not that simple. A little more complicated than that. Yeah, let's just let's not get too clever yet. I'll just pass on the icon for now. Because it's complicated, because one of the things I'm doing is for each of these I reuse... I only have two icons. I've got the sides and a center. And I rotate them. So I could probably get clever with it. Oh, double backtick? I haven't tried that before. Hey, what do you know? Thanks for that tip. I'm gonna have to start using that. Yeah, I'm trying to keep this super simple. Actually, maybe I can do something clever here. So I can say it's horizontal. Oh, it's only the centers that use a different icon. These both use left, left, center, left. Yeah, okay. So this might be getting kind of hairy. This is just getting kind of dumb. I think I'm getting less proud of this refactoring as I go. But who knows? Maybe I'll get there. Because if I'm lucky here, if I just pass in the alignment, this will all just work. See, I think I'm getting myself into trouble here. But maybe it'll make sense as I get closer. Because if I can just pass, if I can reduce it down to just passing this, that has all the information I need to render this component. Which maybe that's too clever, but we'll see. So I want to be able to do that, and then that, and then so that's what I'm after. Then I could say oh, but I also need the current state. Yeah, let's do this. I think this is getting less and less clear. Yeah, I think you might be right about that. Let's see. How about... Let me rename these real quick. How about that? And then... And then... Okay. So remember to save that. Remember to save this. Is this all making sense? What I really meant here is alignment value. Blah 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 blah. Okay. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna do. I'm about to break everything. I haven't actually started using that yet. That align button. Because the next thing I'm gonna do is break everything. My code's still building. Come on, Lint. This is where my machine is like showing how slow it is. And I think this is going to be the last thing that I'm going to do. And as soon as this works, which I think I just ate up another full 20 minutes, I think, past my declared end time. But it'll be nice to start with a cleaner slate on Wednesday. Handle limit changes, sign of value but never used. Oh, that's right. That's because I deleted the drop down. Little sign. It's never used. Yeah. Strings must use double quote. Yeah, whatever. Okay, none of those are like fatal errors. Yeah, those should be double quotes. What else did it say? Yeah, I fixed that one. 136, go. Yeah, I guess you need a semicolon. This is no longer useful. Well, okay, so my code's built better. What I'm gonna do is do this real quick. I'm gonna break everything. And this branch is already super messy because everything is just like a bunch of progress commits that I'm gonna squash later. So I'm using it like a game save. Yeah, I can't type. There we go. Semicolon slipped in. Okay, now time to break everything. And by that I mean, here's an image. You know what? I could actually do this. Yeah, no, I'm just going to leave it a function. I don't think it really makes that much of a difference. So I can say... Actually, what do we do? No, that's not that. So this makes it kind of like more data-driven, I guess. So I can just say... So I should be able to do this. Yeah, making the button itself a component might be more natural. It's actually what I could do. Could actually just do this, and I could eventually move this to a separate file, because I think in React a lot of times making it a component versus not is just a matter of a capital letter. Could do. I'm more verbose. Doesn't really matter though. Now where it gets a little tricky is because there are two groups of these, so I can say left. Also, if you don't want to repeat yourself, there's this syntax. Try and make it a little slightly cleaner. So ideally, it should be able to go. Whoop. That occurs to me, since I'm repeating the word horizontal a bunch, I could just make that a Boolean flag. Yeah, I think I've got at least a, like, 5-second delay. Not intentionally, but I think it's just like an encoding delay. But that looks about right. Let you know. I can make this even drier by saying... Actually, yeah, I'm just going to leave that alone because I haven't even gotten it working as is yet. But I think I can dry this up even more. Because like this could just be a true-false thing. But let's see what it does for now. There's a syntax error. And it is, yeah, I need, oh, that's what I need. I need 2 parens here. So maybe one more stage of refactoring to this, and then it'll be super dry and cleaned up. Failed to compile again, huh? Did it? Oh, comma. Why do you need a comma? Oh, what? I thought I put that in there. Did I put it in the wrong spot? No, alright. Actually, no, I don't even need that, but yeah. Okay, it says it built. We are reloading, so let's see if I'm not broken. Yeah, totally. I appreciate recommendations from the chat. Kind of helps me validate my ideas while I'm stumbling around. Oh, they're all the same icon. That's no me gusta. What happened there? Vertical, undefined. Oh, okay. Well, that's probably an easy fix. Alignment value, alignment value, alignment key. Vertical line. Actually, I'm gonna do this real quick. What am I passing in there? Alignment value, alignment key, center. Let's say you console. Oh, that's right, because this is not. Oh, that's another difference with a component. You're not getting a flat list of parameters. You're getting an object of the props. So that should make a difference. And I don't know. There we go. Yeah. Okay. Well, that looks like it's working now. I think. Is it? Yes. Cool. Thank you for the fireworks. I still need to check horizontal align and alignment still. I don't think so. Wait. Maybe you're right, because this is incorrect. Vertical, 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 vertical. Bottom center, whatever. This is correct. What am I missing? I'm gonna take out that console log real quick because it's just gonna be noise. You know, actually, while I'm here, I'm gonna start to do this. I'm gonna hate myself. I'm really gonna hate myself for this, but it's getting itchy. And I'm breaking everything, of course. I don't need to check that. Let me check that. Oh, no, that's correct. I was, but what I can do now is so I kind of flipped that around. I was passing in what alignment state wanted, and now I'm just passing in those. I think I got all that right. No more alignment value. I think I simplified this, so I'm just passing in the name of the alignment, whether it's horizontal or not. Here I get a key, which will give me access to the state. Here I get whether it's center, which is common for both vertical and horizontals. And here I'm constructing a new state. Actually, I can do that up here. I don't need to do that there. And I make that a little easier to read. And this is a weird syntax in, I think it's ES6. You can create an object with a key named from a string dynamically. Alignment key. I think that should all be right. So that's really stripping this down. And if I want to strip it down even further, I'm really starting to hate myself. Okay. I should stop touching it. I should really stop touching it. See if it passes linting at least. I think it's building in the background successfully. Yeah, I think it built successfully. Come on, little buddy, you can do it. See, when I'm not streaming, this runs about 5 times faster. So I'm pretty sure it's the like video encoding or something that's messing me up. That's pretty much what the computer's saying. Missing a key prop, assigned a value but never used. Did I delete the wrong handler down here? Are you reading the wrong file? Handle alignment change. Oh, I see. That's not there anymore. What else am I? Missing key prop. Okay, that could be handy. So I could say... Yeah. React always hates this. It always wants a key when you're repeating components. And it doesn't like it when you put it in that syntax, I don't think. So how about that? And I think I'm getting close to signing off. Let's say 2 minutes. Every now and then I get caught in this loop where I have working code, but I know it can be dried up and refactored. And then I spend another hour refactoring. Like so. But it did reduce down like a full page worth of code. Did I just... Oh, so the build, I didn't run lint again, did I? Did I save the file? Save the file. Well, while lint is running, let's see if it actually works. Unfortunately, in this project, I don't have integration tests or any kind of unit tests for the UI. So it's all manual checking right now. But I bet the integration tests would be even slower. Seems like it's working. It's hard to tell with these images. Alright. Let's stick my face over there. Oh, I see the icons aren't quite right. What are we doing wrong here? No, that's correct. But are we using the wrong... No, we're not using the wrong thing. It's align, button, vertical, bottom. Maybe my CSS is wrong. Yeah, I think my CSS is wrong. Align, button, vertical, bottom. Align, button, vertical, right? No. Almost there. But of course I don't have live reload in my CSS. Lint was happy though. Build is happy. Let's reload the page. Maybe this will be victory music for the theme, for the stream. Icons are all correct, and actually I could drag in, just as kind of a reference and a reminder, this is what I'm building. So, you're gonna stay there, you're gonna stay there. So these buttons have to look like that, they look like that, cool, cool, cool. Drag that back off the screen. Alright. Let's stop my head from tiling. Put that over there. Put that over there. You're not gonna put my head over there? Oh, there it goes. Oh, you know what it is? I think it needs both alignments. Oh well, I can work on that tomorrow. But I think the main thing I was trying to do with the refactoring is done. So, fireworks. I think I'm done with the refactoring. So, let's do this. I'm gonna check this in. Call it a day. Let's review what I did. A little bit of cleanup. This is where I started that refactoring function, and then I refactored the refactored function like a dummy. But the important part is down here. The refactoring reduced all this red out of these 3 lines. That was a lot of work to reduce these repeated lines into those 3 lines. Same thing here. Reduce all this red down into this green. Which, I mean, it's less to look at in the future. Also, I'm not using this anymore because this was devoted to the drop-down selector. And a little bug fix in my CSS there. So cool. I have one more problem to solve that I think I'm going to save for tomorrow. And for that reason, I have got a to-do list. I'm going to say, so I think I got a bug right now where if one of the 2 alignment values are missing, those buttons don't quite work right, but I'm just going to add that to my to-dos up there above my head. And with that, oh yeah, the important thing, I reviewed the changes. They're all still there, cool. Now let's check them in. These are bad commit messages, but I'll clean it up later. And there's the final step in the stream. Let's get this out of my house. My code is somewhere probably on a computer in California, so even if my laptop catches on fire, I'm gonna do a laptop, get my code. Alright. So I think with that, I'm gonna bring the stream to a close. Thanks for everybody who's come by and watched me stumble through this. Thanks for everyone else who's shot off fireworks. Thanks for coming by, Jared. I hope I see you in the future. Thanks everybody else. Hope you see all of you in the future. I'm gonna go make some dinner. Cheers.